Back on the Mount Panorama circuit, one car against the clock, and this is the one they love to hate, Allan Moffat.
Green flag for the 1977 Hardies Hero 1000 winner. The man who last year almost engineered that magnificent 1-2 finish. And he is trying a beautiful line through that corner. That's going to put him in top gear for a run up to the top of the mountain. Allan Moffat desperately wanting pole position for this 1978 race. Not only for what it brings in terms of money, $8,250, but to have the blue and white Ford Cobra sitting up there is just what Allan wants. And he is really screaming up this part of the circuit.
Running on slicks, the first car to tackle the course like this. It's much drier, as you can see, but there are still some wet patches up top, and Allan Moffat will have to be very, very careful because he is flying.
Tremendous bat in this Cobra Falcon up the mountain there, and Moffat's putting everything into this one.
Yes, really trying hard. He has the stick well and truly all the way to the floor. We'll catch the shot of him through the trees here as he goes onto the top part of the mountain. He hasn't backed off once. He is really trying hard.
There's a rough patch through there, and there's a little bit of water on the edge of the track through the trees. You can just see it there, and that'll stop his heart for a fraction of a second. And now he's all screwed up, and Moffat, intense as ever, flying across the top of the mountain. He's after the record, he's after the prize money, he's after the prestige of being fastest around the mountain. 4 times winner here. He'd love to make it 5 this year.
And he's about 4 or 5 seconds faster to the top of the mountain than most of the other cars have been at this point.
He is really trying hard, coming through this very, very demanding part. Let's watch his approach to this corner. He's a very, very smooth driver, goes through there, and now we have Conrod straight and the accelerator all the way to the floor as Allan Moffat goes after pole position for this year's race. Sitting in the middle of the road, waiting for his speed. We have a radar speed trap halfway down the straight. It'll be coming out shortly. Here it comes now, 159 miles an hour down Conrod Straight.
Oh, that's flying.
Really screaming, and Allan Moffat in hot pursuit of this pole position here today at Mount Panorama. Now, the final corner, the critical corner for Allan Moffat. He has to get through here with a smooth line, and he's done it. It's going to be a very quick time.
2:21.59.
Tremendous 2:21.59 to Allan Moffat, the fastest man around the mountain in a touring car.
97 miles an hour plus. What a phenomenal performance.
Well, Allan, the fastest time ever recorded by a touring car, 21.59. Can you do better?
Probably not a lot, but I'd certainly like to thank the guy.
That must have been a real effort, Allan, because everyone's been so much slower. Are there still treacherous patches on the track?
Yes, there are. It's a pity, but we elected it. We got the lucky dip and ran out 10th, and thanks to our Motorola contacts, we knew the track was dry around the circuit, and we went for broke. But
that must be an enormous effort, Allan.
Allan Moffat, who was way down in 22nd, made the top 10, and John Harvey is saying you shouldn't be there, Allan.
Well, I guess that's his opinion. There was, in the supplementary regulations, as the organizers had discretionary 2 cars could be put in. And I think the whole idea of Hardies Heroes is the people that are capable of trying to win $9,000 be in the race. And I'm not saying that John is not capable at all. He just didn't seem to make it any more than we did.
Very pensive Allan Moffat leading into this, his final shot for pole position. Whether he should be in the top 10 or not, we'll leave that for others to decide. But Moffat is in good shape in the Federation Panel Filters Falcon over the top of the mountain and going for broke as only Moffat can.
Maybe Allan feels he's got to justify the fact that he's been included in the runoff for the pole position.
I don't know if that would really worry him. I doubt whether there are too many drivers who can handle Moffat around Mount Panorama, everything being equal, of course. They're not equal this year. There's a lot of Tiranas.
Moffat's best 2:24.27. It's not going to get him pole.
Allan Moffat, a man with tyre problems, has it all straightened out as he goes in search of pole position for the 1980 Hardies Hero 1000. Along pit straight, Moffat giving the car everything it's got. Watch his line through the first corner, down through the gears. Very precise driver, tail out a little bit as he heads off up Mountain Straight.
This is the car that'll be co-driven by John Fitzpatrick, top English driver that's been here many times before. They've had some minor engine problems with the car, but by G. Moffat's got it roaring today.
Keeping in mind this car has been put together in less than 1 month. Allan Moffat, Federation Insurance Falcon, up over the top of the mountain now, heading up in car number 1. Beautiful line through here, and Moffat really has the pedal jammed all the way to the floor.
Smoke.
A wisp of smoke there as he goes over the top. Here he comes, and all those Ford fans are wide-eyed and bushy-tailed as Moffat comes off the mountain down into the hard area.
Using all the track, that's not a wisp of smoke either. It's becoming a bit of a cloud.
Hearing there the front spoiler just tapping on the ground as Moffat now onto Conrod Straight and all the way to the end to see if in fact he can set quick time.
Time's not going to be as quick as he'd like. It's 2:26.596.
Well, Allan Moffat, more than a second better than in practice yesterday. Was that because the car is better or because you were trying harder?
Oh, well, naturally, a little bit of both. Whenever you're going for a qualifying lap, you do your absolute best and probably take a few chances you wouldn't otherwise do, Evan. But the car's improved a little bit, but not as much as we wanted.
Allan Moffat, and by gee, this RX7 Mazda has created an enormous amount of interest, and Moffat is going fast.
So you've got to run a big Holden motor or a big Ford motor. Moffat's going to do it with the rotary. Okay, heading up, he's just so smooth around this track, and the car just sits beautifully. The aerodynamics of it work beautifully on the track. Peter Stuyvesant, Mazda, number 43, heading up the mountain. Moffat very, very determined. He, of course, has been giving a lot of way to the V8s, but the equaliser today is the weather. And if Moffat can turn in an exceptional time, that will move him up the grid for tomorrow's great race.
He's got to come in at about 2:40 if he wants to be up there mixing it with the Brocks and the Bartletts.
Okay, coming down, looking good. There's already a chant going up in the pits. It's a quick one. Here it comes. 2:39.4 for a quickie for
You must
Moffat.
be able to see now, Alan, because that was the second quickest time, 39.4.
Well, second good enough in any business isn't good enough, Ivan. Congratulations to whoever got faster. But it's pretty tricky out there at the moment, and it's certainly not worth crashing the car. We got a big race ahead of us tomorrow. But that's tremendous. I'm happy with the little thing.
Now the cat amongst the pigeons. Allan Moffat, the Peter Stuyvesant Mazda RX7, off and running. Really had it wound up tight here yesterday. Uncorked, a real speed blast over the top of the mountain. Down through the gears, driving it very steadily, very precisely as Moffat uses all of the racetrack there as he works his way up towards Mountain Straight to the cutting. Revs really working as Moffat now heads to try and better his time of yesterday and start perhaps towards the front of the field. Really shaving the turn there through McPhillamy Park. And Moffat is really trying.
He is taking superb lines, doesn't quite have the power of the V8, but tries to make up around the bends. Watch him down through the S's. He's won this race 4 times. He'd love to make it a 5th time and share that record with his arch rival, Peter Brock.
Here comes Moffat down to the bottom into Murray's corner, takes the left-hander, clock ticking over. It's not going to be as fast as he'd like. 2:19.7.
Alan, there it is on the right hand on the bottom. Bit better. Pleased?
Well, you're never pleased when you're not up as far as you'd like to be, Chris, but I think under the circumstances, it shows my time yesterday, my good time yesterday, obviously had the benefit of a tow. And with such a little engine, it is a very long straight. I just couldn't seem to get her coming down the hill fast enough today.
He is on the pace this year for the James Hardy 1000.
Can Moffat top the list for Hardies Heroes 84? He's going to give it one hell of a shot right here. Here comes the man, Moffat, 43 Mazda. Arms working, wrestling with the wheel. Now he's on the top of the mountain. Now he can give it the gun. Sweeps through Castrol Curve.
4-time winner of the great race here at Mount Panorama.
Coming up on Skyline, and you can see why they call it that. Now off the top, hard in the mouth. Through the dipper and the S's. Down through the gears, on the brakes. Takes the left-hander and the checkered flag. What's the time for Allan Moffat?
2:16.41 seconds, the time for Allan Moffat in the number 43 Mazda RX7.
The atmosphere is very cold, and being one of the lighter cars in the field, the tires don't get warm in 2 laps.
You had the car in the workshop just before that lap. Any problems?
No, we changed the diff. We weren't very impressed with the first time, so we tried a little better. It's just one of those things.